stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
You too.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the Town Board work session of February 8th, 2024 to order at 6 p.m. Can I get a roll call, please?
Michael Cashman.
Present.
Thomas Wood.
Present.
Barbara Hebert.
Here.
Charles Costick.
Here.
Dana Isabella.
Here.
James Coffey.
Here.
And I am present.
Is there anyone seeking public comment this evening? Seeing none, we'll advance to the supervisor's report. A couple things that I want to cover. I want to start with some exciting news that occurred yesterday. I had the opportunity by invitation to go down to the Capitol, actually down in the Red Room on the second floor, the governor's space, for a roundtable on housing. During this, the governor announced the inaugural group of 20 towns, villages, cities, the municipalities that are receiving the designation as a pro-housing community. And we were among the first 20. And that's very exciting. And there's a couple of things of it that I just want to touch upon in some further detail. One is not only are we one of the first 20, we join the town and village of Canton, North Elba, and the town of Loveville. And we are the first in Clinton County. We have already been designated the first clean energy community in Clinton County. And this is just another example of us, leading the way in this kind of corner of the North Country. And some of the things that I want to emphasize is that this is a recognition not only of the work that we are planning to do, it's a recognition of the work that we've already done. And in regards to the housing units and the housing that we have seen, onboarded into our community, but it's also a recognition of the town's work on our comprehensive land use plan. It's a recognition of our smart growth plan. It's a recognition in regards to the updated subdivision regulations that I've jokingly said a number of times now that date back to 1978, predating me, and it's a collection of things. The thing that I want to emphasize too is that in the current design of the pro-housing community, particularly for us, we've been able to achieve this designation while continuing to embrace and to continue to use the important thing for local municipalities, and that's home rule, okay? We've done it with a community-driven and built vision. All of these plans have had PAC committees, public advisory committees. It's not that the board has just sat here and said, oh, well, I think it would be a good idea to have, a comprehensive land use plan or, the smart growth plan. We really have nurtured these things. They've been living legacies over many, many years. And this is a culmination of some really good work before us, currently, and then moving in the future. In addition to that, there is approximately, I think it's $620 million through a variety of state grants and opportunities that we become eligible for. And that is going to become a requirement moving forward for eligibility, and there will be a preference process for communities that have done this. So we've said this many, many times before, that you plan the work, you work the plan. So we saw where this was going, and we're now not ahead of the curve. We've been able to work in tandem with the process that's being developed. The other part to it is, the North Country, from the North Country to Long Island to the other side of the state, there are communities in all regions that are doing this. And I think there are about 60 more communities that are in the pipeline as well, so this will continue to grow. We will look at opportunities to provide unique access to some of those funds that will tether with our plans, right? It's not just, oh, there's an opportunity, we're just going to apply willy-nilly towards things. That's not what this is about. Trevor and Jess in particular, did all the data entry for this. You know, when you're in that first group, it can take just a ton of time, and she deserves a lot of the credit. But in speaking with colleagues down at the round table, there's a full acknowledgement, like, we are in a housing crisis, and we have to do something, right? The town of Plattsburgh isn't building housing per se, but we have to be ready in partnership to make sure that we can have affordable housing, we can have market rate housing. We need the full gamut of what is there, and this is just one more tool in the toolbox. You know, I've said many times before that sometimes you need a wrench, sometimes you need a screwdriver, and sometimes you need an Allen wrench, something that's even more specific to things. This is one of those opportunities. So thank you all to the town board for getting on board to pass the resolution and supporting this initiative, because it takes the staff, it takes the board, and it takes embracing the plans that we have. There are many communities that put plans together and they collect a lot of dust, right? I mean, and I've said many times before, a plan doesn't equal everything. A plan can be recalibrated, but without a plan, you're lost. So there's more work to be done. So, any questions on that?
Exciting.
And then I'd also like to acknowledge the fact that at the end of the event, I had an opportunity to connect with Assemblyman Billy Jones down in his Albany office. He obviously is in session, but it was great to catch up with him. We talked about some of the ongoing priorities for the town of Plattsburgh, be it the Battlefield Memorial Gateway, housing obviously. Also had a chance to talk to him about some of the priorities that are in the pipeline for the Association of Towns, and just deep appreciation for the friendship and a listening ear. He's a great advocate for us. And walking the hallway, several of his colleagues just said, oh, do you need some assistance? Who are you going to see? And said, oh, I'm going down to see Assemblyman Billy Jones, and just high regard for him, a high level of respect. So we have a good advocate for us down there. So, want to touch on just two other things very briefly. We are approximately 60 days out from the total solar eclipse that will be over our heads, and April 8th, and I would direct people to the fact that the Town of Plattsburgh Rec Department is doing a program called Path Over Plattsburgh. There was some stuff up on their Facebook page. They did an email blast. The first 150 people to register for this free event by February 29th will receive a free t-shirt to commemorate the experience. They'll be doing some programming. I won't steal all their thunder, but I definitely encourage you to check that out. But I would also encourage people to check out adkcoast.com. The Adirondack Visitors Bureau is putting out lots of information regarding the use of glasses, safety, places to view it, and other activities and stuff. Definitely want to pass that out there. It's become a great resource. And then the last thing that I want to touch on is
just a comment on that. My wife was on, I don't know who, on the internet, but they were saying they could just wear their sunglasses for the eclipse, and we can't have people doing that. I mean, people without protection.
Yep.
So it's real important that we get this out, and hopefully the public will know.
And I can tell you that communities that get closer and closer to the experience become more aware of what's going on, just because more media attention will be focused on it and stuff like that. The Adirondack Coast, the I Love New York campaign has been putting a lot of information out to the press, but definitely, you're right, Tom. People should be be looking at health and safety, getting glasses. You can get some through the Adirondack Visitors Bureau. Check out that website. We'll be putting out some stuff on our Facebook page.
She was getting it from NASA.
Cool. We're going to be providing some glasses that day too, just so you know. It's not like we're going to be there doing an event and not having some available for safety purposes. So.
Yep, absolutely. So the last thing that I just wanted to touch upon, last year we initiated an event called Charter Day, which is really anchored in an employee recognition for longevity and years of service internally, I've been running a program called Top Notch, but it interfaces with the public because the public can fill out some forms, and it's a way to help recognize some of our employees. This year, we are going to do a Top Notch Team Member of the Year program as part of that. And this year, in addition to celebrating those who shine in years of service, we're going to take it a step further, a notch above, if you might, and celebrate those among us that have made significant contributions to the overall success of the town this past year. It's a simple nomination, but this year what we're going to do is we're going to start it with a peer-to-peer recognition program, because I think a lot of our employees have a deep amount of respect and opportunity to recognize. And the 4 categories that we are going to start with are excellence, professionalism, customer service, and teamwork. Individuals can be recognized as individuals, a group of people, or an office. So you'll be hearing some more about that, but I just think it's a really nice thing to do. And as I said in my State of the Town, the work begins and ends with our team members, and we're just very, very lucky to have those folks.
Are you planning to still do the one where we recognize some years of service as well?
So individuals will continue to be recognized based on their anniversary date, so significant milestones. But again, we wanted to recognize, we've done a lot of training with our management team and soft skills training, so we wanted to recognize some individuals through that peer program through the Top Notch. So some more to come, but just wanted to give you a look.
I forget, what's the date?
I don't have a date determined.
A Charter Day is April 4th, if I remember correctly.
Is that when you're gonna do it, is April 4th?
Anticipated, yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna put it there then.
So, all right. With nothing further, tonight is a hybrid meeting with one item. I would bring to the floor for consideration Resolution 47, authorization to enter into the agreement for pictometry services Eagle View.
Whereas the town has more than 5,630 parcels, and the number needing to be physically seen can be reduced by the use of aerial imagery in accordance with the New York State Office of Real Property Tax Services guidelines, enabling the assessor to review certain parcels using the technology and thereby accelerating the number of total parcels that may be updated each year. And whereas the following departments of the town of Plattsburgh benefit from the pictometry services: planning, codes and zoning, assessment, highway, and water, wastewater. And whereas that, based on assessor's recommendation and discussion with other town departments in the town of Plattsburgh, the services are needed to implement a better day-to-day activity. Therefore be resolved, the town board authorizes the supervisor to enter into an agreement with Pictometry International Corporation, doing business as Eagle View, a company formed under the laws of the state of Delaware, with its principal place of business at 25 Methodist Hill Drive, Rochester, New York, to provide services as indicated in the agreement. And be it further resolved that after final review by the town attorney, the supervisor be authorized to enter into an agreement for services from Pictometry for an amount of $12,955.20 each year for 3 years, to be paid from the planning department, codes and zoning department, water and wastewater department, and assessment department budgets, with a scheduled flyover to take place in April of 2024. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the assessor and the finance manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Seaver.
Second.
Board. Any discussion?
I just want to say that I think we try to create a culture where we use cross-functional collaboration, and I think it noted in the resolution, there's 5 departments that can utilize pictometry and have been doing that, so just want to emphasize that that's really important.
Has there been any further discussions on the part of the county? Because I know the county at one point.
Chuck, I think that's a great question.
I-
Yes, there is.
There's an opportunity for shared services.
Yeah.
Dana and I are gonna took that one.
Okay.
Well, and I can give you a more direct answer to it. The Clinton County Shared Services Panel has been meeting annually per statute. It's been brought up continuously. It was brought up again this last cycle. There was what we believe to be movement, because information was provided from Brian and Trevor And there's an opportunity to create, soft seats, which means that you can kind of go in and preview the material. At the end of the day, the county has decided to go in a different direction.
Okay.
So, which is most unfortunate, but, they too have to determine, what resources and stuff. And ultimately for us, this is still a great tool
Oh,
for us.
absolutely, no question about it.
Yeah, I can.
Money well spent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Dana Isabella,
Yes,
Michael Cashman.
Yes, resolution does carry. This evening, the rest of the materials are in draft minutes. Senior town clerk types promotion for Jody, and then the town of Plattsburgh memorial policy is back on the agenda for consideration. Is there anyone seeking to provide any committee reports? Once, going twice, seeing none, I would accept a motion to go into an executive session regarding the work history of one specific individual with no formal action to follow, and it will be a brief one.
So moved.
Hebert and Isabella. Can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Dana Isabella,
yes.
and Michael Cashman.
Yes, we will go into executive session at 16 p.m. Like I said, it is the briefest of briefs.
Great night, everyone.
You too, Katie.
Thank you.